War has a way of forging unlikely heroes, ordinary figures who rise in extraordinary times. Some win medals, some earn promotions, and some never quite fit the mold of a typical soldier.
Twist, twist, twist of fate radio.
In 1942, a company of Polish soldiers marched under a foreign sun. These men had survived exile and imprisonment, only to reform into the Polish II Corps, allies without a homeland. They carried the weight of war and the ache of displacement, but also a fierce determination to fight on. It was along a dusty road in Iran that their journey took an unexpected turn. There a young boy approached, holding a tiny bundle. Inside was a helpless orphan, fragile, hungry, eyes barely open to the world. Against the backdrop of war, this small life stirred something in the battle-hardened men. They took him in. They fed him condensed milk from bottles, cradled him in blankets, and carried him as tenderly as if he were their own. As days turned into weeks, their recruit thrived. He grew quickly, always hungry, always curious. He mimicked their gestures, followed them wherever they went, and demanded constant attention. The soldiers wrestled with him in camp, shared their rations with him, and taught him little tricks that left them laughing. He wasn't just a distraction from the war. He was a reminder of innocence, of home, of something worth protecting. But when orders came to move forward into combat, a problem arose. Non-combatants were not permitted to travel with the unit. Yet the soldiers refused to abandon their companion. Their solution was bold, even absurd. They enlisted him. He was given a name, a rank, and a serial number. From then on, he was not merely a mascot. He was Private Wojtek, soldier of the Polish II Corps. Wojtek marched with them across deserts, crossed the seas with them, and reached Italy in time for one of the most grueling campaigns of the war, Monte Cassino. The fortress of Monte Cassino loomed over the battlefield, a medieval monastery turned German stronghold. Taking it would cost thousands of lives. For the Polish soldiers, success depended on one thing: keeping the artillery supplied. Crates of shells had to be hauled up rocky slopes, each box so heavy it often required 2 men. Amid the smoke and thunder of battle, one private distinguished himself. While others strained under the weight, he lifted crate after crate with a strength that seemed impossible. He trudged steadily through the chaos, carrying shells to the front without faltering. Again and again, he returned for more. His comrades swore he never dropped a single one. His determination became legendary. Soon the unit adopted his likeness as their emblem, a figure carrying a great artillery shell, a symbol of resilience and strength. When the war finally ended, the soldiers faced an uncertain future. Many could not return to their homeland, now under Soviet control. Instead, they settled in new countries, carrying with them bittersweet memories. But wherever they went, one story was told again and again, the tale of their most unusual brother-in-arms. He too traveled with them, this comrade of theirs, and eventually found a home in Scotland. There he spent the rest of his days, often visited by veterans who would call out to him in their native tongue. At the sound of Polish voices, he would perk up, as if remembering the long marches, the campfires, the camaraderie of war. And here's the twist. Private Wojtek wasn't a man at all. He was a bear, a Syrian brown bear who wrestled with his comrades, guzzled their treats, and marched in step as if he'd been born to wear boots. At Monte Cassino, this unlikely soldier carried live ammunition as faithfully as any recruit, earning his place in history as perhaps the most extraordinary comrade in arms the world has ever seen. This has been Twist of Fate Radio. I'm Angela Clark. Until next time, remember, sometimes the smallest choices lead to the biggest consequences. Want to explore more stories like this? Visit twistoffateradio.com. There you can read more details about this story and others like it. Plus, you can submit your own Twist of Fate story to be considered for a future episode. You never know what twist of fate is coming next.